Well, this is your guys' first time in here, huh?
It is.
So we're still working on it, but it's an amazing building, and we're excited about it. But on to this week, we started really our Texas A&M prep in earnest this morning, and this is a little bit of a bonus day for us. So although we worked on them a little bit last week, this was the day when we really started to present everything to our players, and our guys are in good spirits. We're relatively healthy considering where we are in camp. We talked about Kenny Lacy being out, but besides that, and then the other guys that are known, the Deshaun Holiday or Alex Akambulu, we're in pretty good shape health-wise, especially the guys that we figure will contribute as part of the depth on Saturdays and Sundays this year. Heck of a challenge this week with A&M. Some unknowns, they've got 3 quarterbacks that they're really not divulging who's going to be the starter. All 3 are a little bit different in style, so that'll cause us to, have to have a plan for each of them. Not sure if they'll stick with one the whole game or rotate them through or what they'll do, but we can't control that. All we control is our preparation, and our guys will be ready for that. Defensively, they're aggressive. We know the scheme. They lost a couple of really good players, but they just reloaded with some tremendous players as well. Their 2 defensive tackles are very disruptive. Their free safety is all ACC. We know Priest Willis, their right corner, pretty well. They start, it looks like on their depth, they'll start a true freshman at one of the linebacker spots. But it's going to be a great game. We went out to the Rose Bowl on Sunday and did a mock game. We have a new locker room. We have a new side of the field that we're on, new uniforms, 4 new guys on our staff that are new. So we went through really up to halftime and then out for the second series of the second half of a mock game, and it was really important for us to do that. I think it'll help us going into the game Saturday. I know that for me, I was turning left when I was supposed to be turning right in the locker room. Everything's just kind of reversed. It's the same locker room, just set up differently. So I think everyone will be very comfortable on Saturday. It should be a great environment. It's going to be a beautiful day, and hopefully we get a great crowd out there. And I'm excited to watch our team play. We've worked hard. These guys since really January 6th, when we came back from winter break, have had a great mindset, a great attitude, tremendous work ethic. The leaders on this team, our LAC guys, have really taken hold of the culture, and we're in a good spot right now. But I think every team in America is probably able to say the same thing. We're in a good spot right now, unless those that played last week and lost. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a great game. They're an SEC opponent. They are a heck of a team. They're very well coached, obviously on both sides of the ball with veteran quarterbacks, and Kevin has been at it a long time, but we're looking forward to the challenge.
I know you have at least one guy with Houston ties. Is everybody okay there as far as family members?
Yeah, two specific, Will Lockett and Najee, both from the Houston area, and both of their families are safe and sound. I think they were a little distracted for a couple days because there was some uncertainty, but talked to both of them this morning, and they are good. Their families are fine, and they're focused, and they feel comfortable with things. But certainly our prayers go out to everybody in that area that's suffering. And I wouldn't announce it now, but I'm thinking that our athletic department will be doing something at the game just to be able to raise some funds to help those people in need down there.
Does that add another layer to the game because they're dealing with this, Texas A&M?
I don't know how much it's affecting them where they are. I haven't checked into that. I'm sure that if it is, it's tough. I'm sure that they have a lot of kids that are from the Houston area whose families are affected. But I also know this about Kevin. Kevin is he's a heck of a good guy. He's got a great empathy, and I think that if anyone can manage that situation, it's Kevin. And I think by the time they get out here on Sunday to play, hopefully things are a little bit back in order there. That there's a plan. People are more comfortable and safe and secure, and that their players really can play their best and play uninhibited. They deserve that after all the work that they've done, just like our guys do.
Would you say 2 years removed from having Noel Mazzoni here, does it still help that your scheme against him or know his tendencies?
Yes and no. It's when someone asks you that, you can always say, yeah, we've got a pretty good feel for his tendencies, but he's got a pretty good feel for ours, and he knows we've got a pretty good feel for his, so he's going to change them. This game is always one of unpredictability, the first game of the year, because you've had your spring, your summer workouts, your training camp to prepare for this game, where in the regular season you've got 3 days to prepare for a game. So you just never know what you're going to see. And Noel's creative. He's always been very creative, and we'll see how it unfolds. I think the most important thing, Tracy, is that anytime you go into a game like this, is that, and it goes back to what Coach Wooden said and what he always did, is that you focus on yourself and your fundamentals and your techniques and your calls and your rules. And if you do that, then you can usually get through anything that you haven't seen before.
I know you're close with Noel. You guys talk leading up to this, or talk during the summer?
We talk during the summer quite often, a lot of time by text, but we do stay close. He is a good friend of mine, and he's a great man, and he did tremendous things around here. I think sometimes he gets a little bit of a bad rap here, but if you look at the offensive numbers that he put up here, I think a lot of the records, if not all of the records, were under his watch as a coordinator. He's very talented, but this week we don't really communicate. As good of friends as we are, I want to kick his tail and he wants to kick mine. And then after the game, we'll give each other a handshake and a hug and wish each other luck the rest of the way. But there will be no good lucks before the game.
How much of a challenge does Christian Kirk pose on multiple levels, just because he returns kicks and also obviously receiver?
Yeah, the guy's a legitimate Heisman Trophy candidate in my mind. We recruited him hard, so we know him very, very well. He's extremely talented. He's got speed, quickness. He's elusive. They use him as a returner. Obviously, they put him in the slot. Sometimes they put him out on away from trips on the single side. They'll use him in the backfield at times. You just never know what you're going to get. One thing you're going to get for sure from him is just a very great competitor. I remember going to one of his games at Saguaro and standing on the sidelines, and I think he scored 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, and they were all just like special type of runs, like, okay, he's tackled. Oh, no, he's not. Touchdown. No one touched him. He's a special talent, and he's a real challenge, and you have to account for him. If you don't account for him, you make a terrible mistake.
Jim, obviously, Miles Garrett, Deshaun Hall are both gone. What have you seen from that front seven of Texas A&M?
Well, we haven't seen a lot because all we really have to go off of is the spring game. But we know that 2 defensive tackles are very disruptive. We know that, the coordinator likes to get after the passer. They're a good pass rush team. And so, we're anticipating that they'll be pinning their ears back and coming after us off the edge. And we've just got to be able to do a good job in protection. We've got to be able to run the ball so that they can't just pin their ears back and come after us in obvious passing situations.
Do you have a starting punter right now?
Stephen Flintoff is our starting punter right now, but Austin Kent will be ready to go. I think that through the spring and through the fall, Stephen has proven himself to be very consistent. He's worked very hard. Our players have confidence in him, and we're going to go with him.
No decisions on scholarships yet? Still waiting?
I'm waiting. Right now, we only have one to give.
That's right.
Things can happen in the next few weeks. We really don't have to make a decision until school starts. We're fortunate in that respect. There's certainly some guys that are very deserving, and you brought that up because of Stefan, and you think of Christian Pabico because he's going to be involved in the game plan, and there are some others. So, we'll just have to make the best decision when we have all the information, and I would like to be able to reward any of them that I think deserve it. It meant a lot to me when I was given a scholarship. I know what it feels like. I know what it means, and there's always guys that kind of come out of the woodwork, and you really wish you could reward them. Usually we can, but this might be a tough year.
As a former walk-on, any special words for Christian Pabico coming into a game where he hasn't played yet and he's going to be on a pretty big stage?
I think that he's played on special teams in some of our games, I believe. Don't hold me to that, but I believe he has. I don't get the feeling from Christian that the stage will be overwhelming to him. He's a pretty confident kid. He played at Long Beach Poly. He played in some good games. And it's different, obviously, playing in the Rose Bowls compared to playing in high school. But he was a productive guy. His teammates have great trust in him. He's worked hard. He's been consistent. I think he's going to be okay. You know, I'm not going to say anything to him. You know, if he asks me a question, I will. I'll just, you know, encourage him to go out there and do his best. But I've surely been impressed with him.
Thank you.
Is that it?